Do me a favor there, Franny. Shmoo, you're cutting in. Well, yeah. Can you do me a favor? Shorty, maybe you can help out. Texas girl, how are ya? Can you go on your internet and find me the phone number for the TikTok? Texas girl, I'm good. I just got these guys here. These guys, he's stalking. This is stalking in action. Active stalking. Yeah. That's gonna get you far, Peyton. That'll get you far, Peyton. I'm in your area. You let me know if you need anything. Nicole. Yeah, I'll do that. Maybe I'm just doing some things first. Hey, can somebody else do me a favor? Durka. Can somebody else do me a favor? Oh, there's way more than there's way more than one. Yeah, under a camera. Yeah, you'll be all over the camera. And the camera's all the way up the block, and the camera on my phone, and all the cameras. All the lights. Chelsea, how are you? Yeah, everything's, day by day. These guys tell me I'm getting murdered right now. They're stalking around. They're planning on kidnapping me, apparently, and yeah. No, not the website. Their phone number. Shotty. You've seen the truck, so if anybody, if they try to make a move, just 911 for me, Langley RCMP, and you know what I'm saying? Just 911 them, and these guys are silly. They come on cameras and everything, man. They're I've seen some numbers, but not for America. Active stalking assistant. Can you do me one more favor, guys? Anybody? Can somebody pull up Not the One and snap a picture of him? Mikey? And then maybe just, when you call the 911, just let them know that Mikey from TikTok, not the one, has been doxing and stalking me. Oh, I know this guy. Yeah. No, I know a lot of shit that you don't know. I know. Anyways, can somebody pull him up? One of you guys might be following him already, and guys, it's not. And then the has a 3. It's a 3 back, or like a backwards E. It's a 3. And then 1, the number 1. Nothing to do, shared the live. Nice. Yeah, that's it. Can you pull up the? Can you screenshot a photo of him and send it to me, please? He's got me blocked, but he's been doxing me and harassing me and uttering threats and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, that's cool. I don't mind that you shared it to him. He can see that he's going to jail. Mikey. Jessica, you want to help? Or Shano, what do you think, brother? It's not the 1, not, and then the with a 3 for the E, and 1, number 1. So it's like not TH 3 1. Yeah, it would have to be somebody that's already on the account. He's afraid, man. So of course it's private, and he's fucking greedy, right? He's greedy. He wants subscriptions to fucking watch his lives and shit. But if you request him, he'll certainly fucking get you on there. I don't know. It's going, man. You're on camera though. He's stalking, and they're planning on kidnapping me. That's why the cheerleader guy, got him on camera. And just kind of anyone that comes in my general direction.
Welcome.
You guys will see.
To find a directory listing, use your finger to move the directory bar up or down, or use the search by last name button at the bottom, then dial the code on the touch keypad.
You can hear the girl in the background there. She's like, die. That's the girl. That's the girl behind the whole thing here. So there's Mikey, not the one, and then there's this girl. Haven't identified exactly who she is. But anyways, she's a woman with a kid. Just keep an eye on all the people that come through here.
3167. System dialed.
It'll be a few of them that try to grip me. Just kind of take note, the ones that come through the walkway here like that.
Enter. The door is unlocked.
You know what I'm saying? That's a kid playing. No, it's not a backyard. It's in the truck there. It's in the truck, on the speaker. And the woman playing with the kid is the one behind all this. Conspiracy to murder and utter threats and doxing and the whole nine. So this guy's got direct contact with her. Dun, 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 dun. Turn what? Is anyone on that account not the one? I have his description. I know what he looks like already. He had words with me many months ago. Like probably last summer. Yeah, well, he knows his vehicle's on display right now. He's been telling the girl that. Anyways, this vehicle here is one of the vehicles involved. Should I disappear? And he's talking directly to the girl who's been directly involved, who deals with a lot of this. She comes on telephones like around me like this. This is kind of her fucking MO. She'll come on the telephones to people around me like this and be put on speaker so that I can hear. No, that's what they want me to do. Run around. I'm not running fucking nowhere. Actually. They can grab me. They can grab me and go to jail, and that'll be that. Anyways, there's lots of you in here who are not friends with this guy, who are actually on my page and writing for me. So just kind of document this. You don't have to say anything to put yourself out there. Just kind of secretly, keep track of what's happening here. And should you need to report something, you'll have that info, and you can just remain anonymous. See what's happening out here. There's this white truck here. Watch that white truck, because take the license plate PW 2219 is kind of just chilling there. That could be one, but definitely this truck here, SD 7933 is the license plates. British Columbia, SD 7933. SD 7933. It's a black Chevrolet Z71. He's directly talking to the girl who is been in this all from the start. Like the main people that have been stalking and harassing me. And she's working alongside Mikey, not the one. So they all have information. They can take it to their grave and just they can do the time, or they can rat Mikey out and. But Mikey's responsible for stalking me. Let's keep an eye on this truck here. No, it's still there. I know, because cars have to drive around it. Anyways, I don't want you to get distracted by all the vehicles. This is like the main one, right? We go through this one, and this guy can either wear it or he can whatever. But he's talking directly to the girl involved. So I don't want you guys to get confused here. You don't have to take like a bunch of vehicles that are coming by here. You just focus here, and then if anybody comes and actually approaches me, then that'll be that, and you'll see who comes at me. Jen, hello. Jen, same thing. Can you just maybe jot this down? This is a black Chevy Z71. SD 7933 is the license plate, BC. Just kind of jot it down, and if anything happens to me, this guy has knowledge. Ever, not just today, any day. If I ever just acknowledge that this guy has been in communication with both Mikey and this unknown female. Right now, this guy's like stalking over me from yesterday. When I made some discoveries on my phone. Now they're getting scared, and so they're trying to grip me actually. And all along they've been advertising online that they're going to murder me. It's been a whole conspiracy, right? Conspiracy to commit a murder, and then I made some discoveries yesterday, and. This is their behavior today now. Yeah, he's in the truck. It's a black Chevy Z71, license plate SD, S like Sam, D like dog, 7933. He's putting on a work hat or whatever. I don't know. Now he's going to drive away. Anyways, just keep that in mind, guys. Don't be confused here, They're scared now. I mean, they're on cameras, but he directly had the female involved. So this man that just drove away in this black Z71 is also now an accomplice to a conspiracy to commit murder, which is a crime. It's punishable by life imprisonment. So today, or any day, a week from now, a month from now, a year from now, guys, just acknowledge that that truck, to my close friends that are on here who care about me, just kind of put that on your fridge. Black pickup truck, license plate number S like Sam, D like dog, 7933. was in communication with the people directly involved with conspiring to murder me. Yeah, you should go get some there, Michaela. There's a camera here too, right? So basically what happened, the guy pulls up, he parks here, and he never gets out of the vehicle. He sits there. He does his window down, lights up a smoke, and then gets this girl who's directly involved, right, to come on the speakerphone on the truck there, and she's talking about it. And basically he's sitting there waiting for the people that are going to help him grab me and throw me in a vehicle and take me away. There's more people talking over here. Let's check it out. Let's go check it out. Like I said, the main thing is no, he never got out, and then I started recording him, and I started recording him, and then so he drove away there. To my close, you don't even have to acknowledge it on the messages, okay? You don't even have to acknowledge it on the messages. Just, you can stay anonymous. Just kind of write it on a piece of paper and stick it on your fridge. Black Chevy Z71. License plate S like Sam, D like dog, 7933. Was sitting to in front of me here at this location. This is 8551 201 Street, Langley, BC. You need to write that down. There it is. And he was sitting there basically communicating with the female directly involved, waiting for the others, his co-conspirators, who were going to grab me, kidnap me, and take me away and murder me. Why are they doing this? Well, they doxed me. It's doxing. They doxed me, and I got all my information, and have been harassing me for some time now. And recently, they put some technology on. So if you go into my profile, you'll see he's set up like a live community where you got to subscribe. He's watching right now, so he's seeing Mikey. His name's Mikey. The account is not the one, and it's like not, and then the with a 3 for the E, number 1. And you can subscribe to his channel. Maybe I encourage some of my closer friends, get on there and subscribe and catch him on a live and screenshot his face. If I'm correct, the guy is he's a fat bald guy. He's got a tattoo across his forehead. His name's Mikey.
Hi, Grace, delivery from news.
Yep, morning.
Please enter. The door is unlocked.
One second, guys. His name is Mikey, and that's basically the description I have. Somebody gets on the account, though, if they snapshot a picture of him and send it to me, that would be great. I could take his photo and go file a complaint, the police report through the court. These people coming by, that woman there, she's helping them. These people, they also have, communications with the people. If anybody's new here, a lot of you know what the situation is already. But if you're new here, basically he's been broadcasting me on his channels and stuff like that. No, you can't hear the conversation, but she's over there and they're talking about it, actually. And I'm sitting here getting a charge, right? And so they've been trying to interfere. That's why I'm saying it's important to keep that information. That I gave you, the black Chevy Z71 that's the important thing. Don't worry about the girl. She knows all about it too. She's got information, but we're not going to worry about her. The truck was witnessed talking to the female directly involved. Yeah, just trying to throw the situation off here. This one's back again now. Anyways, I don't want to distract from the only thing that matters right now is that black Chevy Z71 license plate, S like Sam, D like dog, 7933. Seen in front of this address, 8551 201 Street, July the 3rd, I believe today is, at whatever the time is. You guys can document the time. He was sitting talking to the female. She's got a kid. So she's talking to him about the kidnapping and telling me that I'm going to die through the speakerphone. And then he drove away because, well, now he's being acknowledged to be a co-conspirator to a murder, which is punishable by life, guys. You know, if you're from Canada, then you might already know, you might not. But conspiracy here in Canada is punishable by life imprisonment. So that is a co-conspirator. He's also involved in conspiring. And should anything happen to me, that's the truck that you want to send the police after. And just acknowledge to the police that, look, on this day, you acknowledged him talking to this person about my murder. And then he drove away after I started recording. You don't have to acknowledge through me on here. Just keep it, put it on your fridge or in your drawer or something. And you can remain anonymous that way. It's an apartment, 8551201 Street, The Towers.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
Welcome to 3107. System dialing.
You see how scared that Chinese lady was? No, I'm just kind of catching a charge. Came here the other day. The lady said it's cool, man. Just charge up and.
Package for Tatiana.
Yeah, but over, honey, thank you.
Please enter. The door is unlocked.
Hey, Shannon.
Call canceled.
Kind of the purpose just now is anybody that tries to immediately grab me, you'll see who they are. Shannon, sorry, I didn't mean to ignore you there. Can you write this down, please, Shannon? Can you grab a paper and a pencil and let me know when you're good? No, you'll notice this building becomes very popular suddenly. I sat here for 20 minutes and nobody came by or nothing. You'll notice now that it gets very popular. Lots of traffic will come up and down the street now, and if you pay attention to the drivers, you know, they'll slow down around here, or you know, they'll look my way. I'm around the corner, you know. I'm around the corner. Look, nobody knows that. You know, they should just be cruising by, right? But they slow down and check to see that I'm here. And now that I said it, they'll keep it moving. Okay, it's kind of the purpose of that. It's kind of the purpose of that, so because they're watching, right? They know what's happening right now. They're watching, and so that was kind of the purpose of that. You know, just keep it moving, man. Just cruise on by. I'm here. You can see that I'm here. You don't need to drive by and confirm that I'm here. You can see that I'm physically here, and. You know, like, fuck dum-dums, man. Okay, you got it? It's a black Chevy Z71. That's the style. It's a Z71. And it's British Columbia license plate. S like Sam. D like dog. 7933.
Welcome. To find a directory listing, use your finger to move the directory bar up or down.
And then just acknowledging that he was on speakerphone. He's witnessed on speakerphone talking to the female accomplice directly involved. There's a man and a woman.
From the Tina.
Yes.
Yeah, can you pass me? Thank you.
Please enter. The door is unlocked.
There's a man and a woman directly involved with this whole conspiracy.
Call canceled.
Hales, you too, can you grab a pencil and a paper? I'm going to give some very important information. And then guys, just like, if anything ever happens to me, you know, you can acknowledge to the police through like wellness check, like, hey, you know, wellness check, because this guy was in front of this building right here. You might want to write that down too, guys. You might want to write the address down too. 8551 201 Street.
103.
The Towers
Please try again.
in BC. Langley. This is Langley, BC. And that black SUV, he's acknowledged to be sitting here, and he's talking to this girl. There's a guy and a girl, right? So we figured out that this is Mikey. His name is Mikey. Can you write that down? Mikey. And it's not the one. Here, let me start from the beginning. Hale, can you just jot this down? Black Chevy Z71. That's the style. And it's BC, British Columbia. License plate number S like Sam, D like dog, 7933. Male accomplice, speaking to the female who has been directly involved in conspiring to murder me. Yeah, it's Mikey with a Y. He goes by Mikey. You know, it's not just Mike. It's Mikey, and it's not the one. NOTTH. It's a 3, not an E. He turns the 3 to an E, and 1, number 1. Guys, if you want to give him a follow, if you want to get on the page there, because he's got it private, and then when you get on the page, he'll think you've just come to check out the fucking situation, and he'll fucking accept you. And then just send me a photo. Maybe keep a photo for your records. He's been coming on my live, and you know, he goes on his live. He's broadcasting right now off his page, my live, in a picture-in-picture style situation. But basically, you know, free, open to the public, you know, broadcasting, advertising this conspiracy to murder me. Yeah. Well, he's very active. He basically was doxing me. He's basically doxing me, and when he latched on, he's just been harassing me ever since for like a whole year now. You know, I've noticed this guy. Anyways, it's Mikey. He's the main guy. Mikey's the main character.
Oh, sorry.
No worries. Mikey is the main character in this doxing. He's the one doxing, but he's got a female accomplice. And so what was happening there is she's on the phone. This is what she likes to do, you know. Well, her and him. They like to go on, because they broadcast it to the community now, and they try to get at me, right? But they don't want to contact me directly, because they're trying to stay undercover, anonymous themselves. They're now being exposed, and that's very scary for them. So that's good. But they've been trying to stay low-key. They contact the people around me, right? They contact the people around me, and they get on their phone, and they go on speakerphone, and the guy will yap off. You know, the girl, they'll fucking yap off, and they'll be trying to talk to me through other people's phones like that. You know. I don't know where he's from exactly. I do believe you know, he's from America. I want to say the Chicago area. But, you know, don't quote me on that part. Don't quote me on that. I'm pretty certain he is American. Because when he was first communicating with me about, you know, a year ago or so, he was uttering fucking threats. He yelling at me. Some of you guys remember. Some of you guys might have even witnessed it. He was yelling at me through the chat there. I put him up in the box, right? And he started uttering threats at me, telling me that I'm going to get murdered and shit like that, and that he could find information about me and whatnot. And he said, he made a reference to like, I could still get you from being American, like I could still have roots into Canada. So I do believe he's American, but don't quote me on that. And then basically, there's some people here in Canada that are, involves some cats. A guy named Singh. A guy named Singh and another guy named Sidhu. No, not a keyboard warrior. No. Well, he's a keyboard warrior, but he's actually been stalking and harassing me, and so they put out a post. They got into my phone, right? He hacked into my phone. And he made this report, and it was through WhatsApp Business. And then basically he started geofencing me, sending out these notifications, and the notification was like a public acknowledgement, and rather than it being an advertisement for a business, it was actually an advertisement to say like, this guy is this, and he said all these bad things about me, and that I'm being murdered. And then so what would happen is I would go into a location, an area, and everybody around me, like a business style fucking ping, everybody around me would start getting pinged. And they would, he's behind the alerts, yes. And anyway, so basically I come into an area and like geofencing, so what it is, when you do it on the business there, you can ping, or it would like send out a notification, like normally it would be like a business advertisement type thing, like a deal or something, because they know that you're in the area. But instead of it being an advertisement or a sale or whatever for a business, it would actually be an advertisement about me. And it was right in my phone. And so I would go to all these places, and everybody around me would start getting pinged, and then they would like be reading their phone and be like, oh, what the fuck, and then turned away from me. Everyone would start acting weird, and that's taking photos of me and all kinds of shit. This guy's got hundreds and hundreds of photos of me, hundreds and hundreds, and so that went on for a while. People would come and they would take my photo and little videos, and they would scan the QR and all that shit. And he's got a QR code. Anyways, as it's progressed, what they eventually did was, because I would report these things to the police, right? The people that would come around me. He put out to the community and got the community stalking me. Okay? So everybody in the community, and especially like the community I'm in now, because I've been in it for like a couple months now, I've been in this community. And he's the lead of the pack on this one for the online stuff. There's some other people who have caught some attention and coming around me, MCs and the RCs, the RCMPs. And anyways, So then, yeah, I would call the RCMP and tell them about fucking, this behavior going on, and I would ask the cops, like, if it's you guys, then, so be it. At least I know, because I'm homeless, right? A lot of you guys know that I'm homeless, and it's unsettling. I want to be able to sleep at night, but I can't because this, and so I ended up picking up a drug addiction, trying to stay awake at night, which a lot of you know that I didn't use drugs, and suddenly I'm now smoking side, right? Well, that's to stay awake, and anyways, the police every time, right? About 20 times, and they'll have to speak to this. About 20 times, I made complaints about people stalking around me. It's not just a coincidence that 20 times I never made calls before to the RCMP about this, and then suddenly I'm making these calls, and just like randomly now I've got fucking delusions, I just randomly now have these delusions, and not one time, right? Not one time would the police take any information. They would always just come and tell me that it's not real, that people aren't doing these things, and then detain me under the Mental Health Act. And what they were trying to do is like build this history of hospital trips for mental health, for delusions, knowing full well that in the future, should I have to defend against anything? Because there's another component to this, right? Murdering me was like just one side of it, that's like a desperate side of it. The other side of it is they've been trying to fashion this case against me for being a fucking predator, a kid predator, which I'm not. So they've been trying to create these files, these documents, and drop them in my phone, and then have me stopped by the police, who would be like, we need your phone, and they would go through my phone, and they would find these documents. And then when I would try to defend against it in court, right, there would be this history of delusions, right? Delusions and psychosis, right? And nobody would believe me. So I've been trying to keep some records, some evidence and stuff like that. But the guy's right in my phone, and he tries to erase shit, and tries to not let me have access to these things, changes emails on me, and all kinds of stuff, right? I've had to get rid of an iPhone already because he was in it. I might have to get rid of another one. That's why I want to keep a rapport with some of you good ones, and you don't have to express it on here. Okay, I see the ones that are doing this already. But anyways, yeah, he would try to create this agenda of I'm delusional, right? And I can't be believed because, look, he's been to the hospital how many times for delusions? You can't hold his word credible. But you guys haven't been to the hospital 20 times. And so, but anyways, what it comes back to is it's actually neglect of duty, right? So the RCMPs, they're service members of the community, and they have things, like mission statements and stuff, serve and protect and such. Well, I'm a member of the community too, and to serve and protect, right? And so they have an obligation, actually. This is kind of a new thing with the RCMP under the Policing Act and stuff like that. Neglect of duty. It never used to be a thing, but now they can be penalized under neglect of duty. And that's like they show up and they just do what they do. They don't investigate. There's no file, the investigation file opened on this, right? It's just 20 times they come and they take me and they throw me in the fucking hospital. And I've often got like some type of evidence that I can show the doctor, right? And anyways, no medication, right? I've been to the hospital 20 times. I don't have a medication script for anything. And, you know, and it's always like a one night out the next day type thing. So, I mean, they know at the hospital that I'm not actually delusional, that it's real. And this actually is neglect of duty and some type of, you know, police harassment. The police working with them. But progressively with the police and such, it would get even worse, you know. It would get super offensive, actually. The last time being the worst, well, the last probably 4 or 5 times being the worst. But the last time, this cop, I was at the Shell at 286 in Langley, and these people were stalking around, and I called the police again, and I told them, you know, these guys are stalking around, and they're gonna try and grab me and get rid of me, right? And you know, they're there with their vehicles and whatever, and the cop didn't do any investigation. He just showed up and was like, yeah, no, Shaun, they're here doing whatever, you know. And I said, look, you know, I want a file open. I want a file, and I want you to document their information, their names and their plates and the vehicle and so on and so forth. And the cop's like, nah, they're not doing anything. And he sloughed it off, and he's like, look, what are you going to do for the rest of the night? And he was trying to leave me there with these fucking crooks. And I wasn't okay with that. So I said to him, look, you know, just take me to the hospital. Take me to the hospital. I want to go to the hospital. And he's like, I'm not taking you to the hospital. Call an ambulance or something. And I'm like, no, that's not the way it works. Like mental health, you know, I've been through this many times with you guys. Mental health, you're supposed to take me to the hospital. And then he goes in his vehicle or whatever, and he comes back. He's like, okay, fine. You want to go to the hospital? Let's go. I'll take you to the hospital. And so he does no investigation, and he takes me to the hospital. And I sit in the waiting area for the fucking whole night. I fall asleep in the waiting area, actually. And come the morning, the cop is gone. He's not there. He's supposed to be there supervising me, right? Until the doctor sees me. But he's gone. And so I have breakfast. You know, they serve me some breakfast. And then finally a doctor comes to see me. No worries. Finally, a doctor comes to see me, and he clears me. And he says, you know, you should see the social worker. And I'm like, no, it's okay, man. I don't want to see the social worker. The social worker basically just like, because you're leaving the hospital, they want to discharge you. They want to know that you're going to go to a place where they'll help you get to, you know, if I need to go to a shelter, they can contact shelters and stuff and get you a bed and whatever. But you guys know I don't sleep in a shelter. They're not safe. So why would I sleep in a shelter? So I said, I don't want to see the social worker. It's fine. I'm just leaving. And so I put my backpack on, and I tried leaving the hospital. I got out in the parking lot, and these security guards started chasing me around the parking lot. You can't leave. And I'm like, get the fuck away from me, you fucking goofs. Like, get the fuck away from me. I'm fucking leaving, man. Fucking saw the doctor. And they're like, no, you got to see this other doctor. And I'm like, fuck off, man. I fucking been through this fucking trip many times, okay? Many fucking times. I've seen the doctor. He told me to see social worker. I don't want to see social worker. I'm leaving. Get the fuck away from me, goofs. And we got into a fight in the fucking parking lots. And the RCs came, and they fucking had me pinned down on the fucking ground. And then they took me and they put me on the fucking hospital bed. And they fucking strapped me down. My ankles, my waist, my shoulders, my wrists, strapped everything the fuck down to the bed, and wheeled me into the hospital, put me in this room. And normally I would, you know, the normal trip would be like, they would give me Ativan, you know, like if I'm showing signs of aggression or just, you know, dismay, they would give me some Advil, or not Advil, Ativan to calm me down. And anyways, they're like, Shaun, we're gonna give you some medication here, and I'm like, don't take it orally. I don't trust the needles, right? I don't trust the needles. They've put ketamine before when they've given me needles. One second. Can you hear me now? Okay. Yeah, he's on my phone, right? Trying to change. He's worried, right? He doesn't want all this coming out, right? If I ever go silent again, and you hear me, you see my lips moving, but not words, let me know and I'll go and fix it. There's different things I can do to fix it. Anyways, so basically they chased me around the security. I'll back it up to there, right? Security chased me around the parking lots, and they called the RCMP, and the RCMP came and helped them fucking strap me to the bed, okay? And they told me I had to see this other doctor, and the other doctor came, and basically he's like, you know, you got to take this medication, and it's supposed to be Ativan. Okay, that's what they're supposed to give you. If anybody's been to the hospital on a hospital trip for mental health before, and they're trying to calm you down, they're supposed to give you Ativan, and that's supposed to just calm you down. And you can take it by pill, right? So that's like the normal, you know. And but this one day they said, well, you can't take this medication by mouth. And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm taking medication by mouth. I want it orally. And Dom, that just got you eliminated. You're gone. Have a good day, brother. Yeah, I'm like, what do you mean I can't take the medication orally? And they're like, no, not this medication. You can't take it orally. It's got to be a needle. And they fucking come and they fucking stab these needles in my thighs. And I'm trying to fight it, right? I'm trying to fight it, like going to sleep. And then the doctor says to the nurse, okay, guys, this is important. The doctor says to the nurse, I'm going to need to have a couple hours book a couple hours basically for surgery. Book a couple hours for surgery. And I'm like, what the fuck? You're not doing a surgery on me for what? No, you're not doing a fucking surgery. I'm staying awake, and I'm trying to fight it now, right? I'm trying to fight the medication. That's yeah. Anyways, Jen, don't listen to these people. There's a lot of people on here working for this guy, so yeah, they said they're going to do a surgery, and all he said was in my tattoo, right? All he said was he's going to do this surgery, and it's going to be in my tattoo somewhere. And so I was like, "You're not doing surgery on me," and I said, "I'll fight this medication, and you know, I'm not going to sleep." Well, sure enough, you know, this fucking medication's so fucking strong, I can't fight it. So I fall asleep. And I wake up, and I'm all fucking groggy as hell. And they're like, "Hey, come on, let's go. You're being discharged." And they send me out the fucking door. I'm still dizzy from the medication. I'm still dizzy from the medication. They send me out the door, and anyways, then I notice I'm vibrating all over my fucking body. I'm literally vibrating like I'm scared as fuck, you know? My skin is vibrating, you know? Zzz, like this. And then even worse, I'm sitting on the ground and I'm rumbling like I'm a fucking Nintendo controller. And so anyways, I feel all over my body. There's like these different points, you know. After doing like a full examination of my body, you know, from what I can see, there's at least 32 access points on my body. From my skull, they're in my skull, in the center of my fucking nose here, between my eyes, okay? In my whole upper torso, my lower torso, right through to my feet. No, I didn't. I said 32 last night, okay? I can play it back for you. I have the video. I could play it back for you. 32 of them. But anyways, then I notice my fucking penis is vibrating. Then I notice my penis is vibrating. And I can feel electricity. Like this. I can feel it, you know? I don't care. I'm not doing anything wrong. They do these things. This is intentional, right? They do these things to scare me. These are scare tactics. Guys, I want you to acknowledge that. I'm just going to take a break on what I'm telling you. I want you to acknowledge that fire truck. That is a scare tactic. So that I'll get up and go, you know, away from here. The lady already said it's cool, man. Just, yeah, charge up. And she's like, I don't know why people make a big deal over people trying to get a charge. Just get a charge. She actually offered to buy me some food. She said, can I order you something? And, you know, I've got some money, so I don't want to take advantage of the situation, right? I don't want to just take free food if I don't actually, or I can't afford it. Because I know she works for her money, right? So I just respect the fact that she said it's cool to hang out here, and I told her, no, that's cool, ma'am. You know, I'll buy something. I'm good. No, I didn't say 43, and if you need me to, you know, record that section of it, okay, and post, I could do that for you, man. Just, you know, you're just not attentive. That's all. Anyways, the fire truck that went by, and they have an ambulance and stuff like that. These are scare tactics to get me moving, right? They don't want me to be charged. They don't even really, well, they don't want me on fucking TikTok, to be honest. And now Mikey, you know, not the one, he's been exposed, and he's the culprit for all this stalking. I think when you go like further into the Mikey situation, he's got me as a skin in one of his games that he created through the developer. It's a Roblox game that he monetizes off of. And there's like a storyline behind it. You sent what to me? That's what I'm trying to figure out exactly, because Roblox, when you go on the Roblox, it's got lots of different fucking morbid games. But it's basically this fucking morbid game where I'm supposed to die in the game, and I'm supposed to die in real life. When I die in real life, that's the end of my character. Anyways, it's a real sick and fucking morbid game. Hi, Teresa. Teresa, I'm going to give you some information. Can you grab a pen and a paper and... I don't know what the solution is. Well, it starts with this guy's got to go to jail, man. He's committed conspiracy to commit murder. He's doxing, which is illegal. Doxing is a crime. Harassment, stalking, uttering threats. He's been in my bank account and stealing money out of my bank account. He's been copyright infringement, stealing the designs of legitimate businesses like TikTok and Apple. And see, these people, they're frantic right now. This lady's walked back so many times. They're frantic right now. She's like, just wait. I just said that, and she's like, just wait. Acknowledge that. That lady that just walked by with the jeans and the black coat there, she just said to me, just wait. This lady here? Yeah. Let's get her on camera real good. She's like, just wait. No, she's definitely one of them. We're going to acknowledge her as a co-conspirator. If somebody can just... Well, the ones who are writing it down, if you could just acknowledge that she's a co-conspirator. Teresa and whoever else, I'm going to just kind of repeat some information here. But anyways, what happened was, they discharged me from the hospital. And then, man, my balls were like getting electricity to them. They're moving my balls around. And what they were trying to do, they were trying to get this into my balls. And then when I go to these places that I sit at, they would record. It's a camera in my balls. And it records my wiener and my ass taking a shit. And yeah, here, screenshot her. There you go. Anyways, yeah, they watch through my wiener and through my ass. They watch me take a shit. They watch me pee. They can see when I do all kinds of shit, man. Shower and everything. And I go to these restaurants and they can see it in my pants. They can see it in my pants, and so everyone's like watching. What it's intended to do is it's intended to, when kids come around, they'll turn it on and give it some pressure and make my wiener move, make it look like it's twitching, make it look like I've got some fucking sick fucking admiration to children. Okay? That's what they're trying to do. But what they're really doing also is torturing me with it. They put so much electricity through it that it actually fucking, it hurts, man. It hurts. Free Spirit, I'm gonna mute you if you keep telling me to stop, okay? Because this is a real situation. If you can't handle it, then just carry on. I'm gonna mute you. That's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna mute you. But anyways, they put so much pressure through my balls that it actually hurts. And I'm like, stop, stop, you're hurting me. And they don't stop. They don't stop, man. They're sexually assaulting me through these devices. You see that guy looked? Make sure I was here. There's a bunch of them, and some of these people, some of these people here, I want to take an acknowledgement over here too, because this guy's up to something here. This tow truck, he left and came back. He left and came back. These people here, what they're cleaning with a U-Haul. Anyways, we're gonna leave this area pretty quick here. Off to the next one, right? And then kind of get the same kind of people stalking and get that on camera. But anyways, yeah, they're cooking my balls while trying to gather evidence to show that I'm some fucking kind of weirdo. But it's like, it's compromised, If my wiener moved, it's because it's been compromised by the devices in my body, and they use the light, okay? They use the light, and they can send energy through the light and aim it at me, and on their devices and stuff, they have the laptops and stuff, they can actually aim it in, they know where exactly the openings are. I'll try and cover up, and they'll see an opening, and then poof, they'll attack that opening. And this is stuff like, if they ever charge me with it, it'll come out at a trial, and my defense team will bring a specialist in to demonstrate to the judge, what this system does. They're trying to discredit me with these hospital trips, say that I'm not credible, but a doctor can come in and speak about it, right? No, it's not even on right now. Actually. It's not even on. I know when it's on and when it's off. Here, he just turned it on right now. That's what happens, right? I say it's not on, and now he turns it on. And it's on a low setting right now. I'll tell you when it goes up, and I can feel everything. But it's starting in my feet. Anyways, an expert can come in at a trial and demonstrate to the court what this exactly is in detail. So there's that, and anyways, lots of these community members here, they don't know me from Adam, They don't know me from Adam. They've just been notified about a situation, and they decided that they were going to directly get themselves involved, right? And rather than reporting it and saying, this is wrong, what you're doing is wrong, the community members actually, they invest money towards this project. And, like putting these things in my body has been quite expensive, like 100 racks. The doctor had to get paid. The devices cost money. The police got to get paid to shut up, right? because these are illegal. They're not legal. You can't do this to a person. There's no warrant to, So even if they gathered some fucking, let's imagine I was a fucking weirdo. They could never use the evidence. That it would be inadmissible in court because it's not obtained through a fucking legal warrant at the. No, I'm not going to tell them that because it's not true. I'm not one. I'm going to get my criminal record and post it actually, but yeah, I'm not one actually, and it's slander, it's defamation, it's a bunch of things, man. It's really a bunch of things, to be honest. But anyways, I'm not one, and the community has been lied to, and that's the sad part, They've been brainwashed themselves. The community has been brainwashed by this American man who lies to them and deceives them and gives them fake information to gain their trust and their support. He's lying to them about stuff. Shaun, they are abolished mental health facilities. We have nowhere to put them. What do you mean? Miss Ashley, what are you saying? What's the question? I don't know what the question is. I'm not an SO. I'm not an SO. I never have been in my whole life. I have a real criminal record. Okay, with real criminal charges, and I'm not an SO. That's that's one of the things I've never done in my whole life. So my people know, right? No, I haven't. No, I actually haven't. Okay? So you're just trying to slander and whatever. You're just trying to slander. You don't know me, man. You don't know me. You don't know my criminal record. Okay? Miss Ashley, it's unfortunate, okay? It's unfortunate that you've been brainwashed by these fucking monsters, okay? It's unfortunate that you've been brainwashed, Miss Ashley. You're cool. I'm not going to say anything about you other than, It's unfortunate. You've been brainwashed to believe that these things are true and that I'm mentally ill, okay, that I'm sick. And that's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate, Miss Ashley. That's really unfortunate. No, that's not true. I've said what his injuries are, and he made a recovery, and that's facts. That's facts, and it was 24 years ago, okay? And, you're not the person to decide what the justice is. In Canada, if you're not Canadian, we'll same in America. You have a judge, and the judge hears all of the information. The judge knows what the injuries are. The judge knows everything. He heard the trial. He heard the witnesses. Based on those factors, he makes what he believes is a sentence fit for the crime, based on deterrence, denunciation, okay, and rehabilitation prospects, okay. And they gave me 6 years. It reads on paper 4 years, okay, but I did a year in pretrial custody, and they gave me 2 years credit, and then an additional 4 years, okay, to amount to a total of 6 years. So I did a 6-year sentence for that. The judge thought that 6 years was appropriate. There's people committing manslaughter and other charges like that in Canada, okay? Manslaughter, they're getting 3 years for a manslaughter. And the person's dead. This was a ag assault that I got convicted of. And I got 6 years. I got double what a guy who murdered somebody got, essentially. So the sentence was actually fit, okay? I thought it was quite high, and I tried to appeal it. I thought it was quite high and out of the range based on, manslaughter cases. And my appeal was upheld, okay? I did a 6-year sentence for that. But I rehabilitated from that situation. I took programming, and I rehabilitated from that. And since then, I've had 2 kids of my own. No ministry involvement myself, personally, with them. Okay? Well, I mean, I didn't want to be free. As much as jail sucked, you know what I mean? That's what was needed at the time. I did something inappropriate. Whether I intended to do it or not, it was inappropriate. It should have never fucking happened, And something had to be done about it. I got 6 years for it. Due to the nature of the crime, okay, like it made the news. So all that denunciation, deterrence, and all that, because they had to report back to the news. This is what the sentence is. And I dealt with a lot of fucking conflict when I went to the penitentiary, which I had never been to in my whole fucking life. That was a new thing. I wasn't really a criminal offender when I got picked up on this. I had a few little minor shits, and this was like my first real jail stint. I had never really even been to jail. And then here I am now in like the men's federal penitentiary with murderers and the worst of the worst people, And there's lots of guys, the federal system in Canada. I don't know how it works in America, but the federal system in Canada, there's no separation in the men's penitentiaries. It's just general population. If you're a PC, you got to go into general population with the general pops. And so it was quite difficult, okay? The people back then, 2001, 2002, 2003, 4, those guys, they reminded me every fucking day what I did. But I rehabilitated from it, okay? I was in medium security. I did some programming, high-intensity programming. One of the programs was 6 months long. It was like going to school. And you learned about everything, It was family violence. So you even learned about your own fucking upbringing and how you got to that situation, that you're now serving time for. And I worked my way down to a minimum, and I got released from a minimum when I finally left on my stat. And that's because I did the programming and stuff, and they saw gains. They seen growth. You again. What's going on, Shaun? I mean, well, it's not a good situation. You know what's going on. You're attentive. You know what's going on. What are you laughing at, Hills? Look, man, the blowing, you don't have to accept it, okay? It is what it is. Under the circumstances, I was very fucking scared. You guys are taking this out of fucking context, okay? You're taking it way out of context. But this fucking information was put before a fucking court, okay? It was heard by a fucking court. And genuinely, this is a fucking child that I fucking loved. I was raising this fucking child, okay? I was raising him. He wasn't getting fucking abused every fucking day. He wasn't getting abused every week, every month, okay? It was a one-time fucking situation. And I genuinely fucking cared about him. And he was going through fucking this situation now where I thought he was going to die. I was fearful that he was going to die. And I tried to perform CPR, which I was not trained to do. And I fucking did it all wrong. I did it all wrong, and I actually made the situation worse by trying to perform CPR on him. First of all, he didn't need CPR. Okay? One second here. Never mind, shut up about the puppies. There's no puppies. Fuck, man. Why am I... No, people want to hear. People want to hear and people need to hear because they're making judgments based on, false information. Anyways, yeah, so I started doing it through the mouth. I didn't know what I was doing. And I basically fucking blew him up like a balloon. And the air that I was putting into his lungs, I put too much air through his lungs and it was going into his belly. And then by trying to push on his belly, I actually fucking perforated his intestine. Anyways, the stomach wouldn't fucking... The stomach wouldn't alleviate, okay? It was hard. His stomach was hard. And I wanted to get the air out of his stomach. And I thought if I put a little bit of air in his butt, that it would cause him to release this like a fart. And it would maybe he would start farting and the air would come out of him. Okay, this is what I was thinking at the time. Okay, I don't know the human anatomy. I'm not trained to do any of these things. But what I know is in the situation, I was very fucking scared that he was going to die, and I was trying to do whatever the fuck I could do to make sure that he didn't die. He was 3, yes. He was 3, yes. Anyways, look, man, you don't have to accept. But it wasn't fucking sexual. I wasn't trying to get some sexual arousement out of it, okay? I was genuinely trying to fucking help him. That's what I was doing, okay? The police, the courts, everyone saw it for what it was, okay? Yeah, it sounds fucking stupid, okay? But it was what it was. I was trying to fucking save this fucking child who I actually fucking care about, okay? And that's what I did. Anyways, he opened his eyes and he was able to have a conversation with me. You know, I asked him some questions. His name, my name, his mom's name. Count to 10, do some ABCs. He was able to do all these things. So I said, okay, good. You know, like he's got his brain, his memory. And I thought that I could avoid the hospital. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to avoid the hospital. I was being selfish, okay? And that's me taking accountability. I've done this in the past, and I'll do it again, okay? Because I feel genuinely shitty about the situation. It's not what I wanted for him. I was selfish, and I didn't take him to the hospital right away. And his mother, she didn't take him to the hospital right away when she came home. And she didn't take him the next day. And I couldn't fucking take it anymore. I couldn't take it anymore. He needed help. He needed help, and I just had to fucking, bite on it and just get him there. He needed to go. And so I took him to the hospital. At whatever cost it was, if it was me going to jail, then that's what it was. I was going to jail, but he was going to live. He was going to live, and that was the goal. Get him fucking some help, because it's not improving. It wasn't necessarily getting worse, to my visuals, but he wasn't going to get better like I was hoping it would happen. He had to go to the hospital, or he would have died. And I said, fuck it, I'm just going to take you to the hospital. His mother went out again and left me there with him. And I was like, come on, let's go. We're going to go to the hospital. And I took him to the hospital, and sure enough, I did. I got arrested there, and they charged me with aggravated assault. And the cops took me into interrogations at the Vancouver Police Department for 8 hours. And I started to lie at the beginning. I told him that he was jumping around on the bed. I figured it's pretty much the same as what I actually did. And I tried to lie about it and say that he was jumping on the bed on his own and he went off. And then slowly I came around and told him, okay, look, I assisted with him falling off the bed. I hit him with this pillow. By that time, you're not believable, okay? We don't believe what you're saying. That's not what happened. You shook him. That's what they started telling me. You shook him. I said, guys, I absolutely did not shake him. That's not what happened. And, for several hours, they kept trying to put it in my head that I shook him. And they wanted a confession that that's what I had done. And I adamantly told them, many times, no, that's not what the situation is. I didn't shake him. And but they wouldn't believe me. And so in the synopsis, when they wrote it all up, they wrote that he was likely, okay, and that's an operative word there, keyword, he was likely shaken. When we went to trial and stuff, what's that say? They weren't cigarette burns, guys. They were not cigarette burns, They said they were small and similar to cigarette burns. Those are actually just rug burns. They were little marks that had formed a scab over top of them. There was a couple of them. I think one was on his back and one was on his leg. It was not claims. It actually was. Anyways, the cops said he was likely shaken. When we had trial, okay, there was, expert doctors. So for the Crown Attorney, they had their doctors saying what the police were saying. And for my defense, we hired a doctor. And that doctor, he was from Edmonton. And he testified that it was consistent with blunt force trauma And then he identified at the trial how it is consistent with the blunt force trauma, which is what I'm telling you, okay, where he hit his head on the floor. So basically he had a mark on the back of his head on the right side, okay? If you know anything about nursing, some of you are nurses in here, okay, and you'll know this stuff, okay? But when you hit the right side of your head, it'll affect the left side of your body. And vice versa, if you hit the left side, it'll affect the right side, okay? Well, he had this mark on the right side of his body, which caused some drowsiness, okay, some paralysis on the left side, okay? And basically, he testified that there's bleeding in the brain, which the blood collected around the skull, putting pressure on the brain. It's called the subdural hematoma. Yes. Well, as in he didn't fall off the bed on his own. He wasn't just jumping and fell off on his own. That's what I'm saying. To be clear. Originally, I told them that he was just jumping and he fell off. And he did it on his own. Now, you're just not able to comprehend, Some of you can comprehend and then some of you can't. So originally I told the police he was jumping on his own and he fell. It wasn't assisted by me. Then I let them know that, okay, fine, you're right. I do have a part in this. I assisted him off the bed. I hit him with the pillow and he went off the bed. By that time, they wouldn't believe me. They said, you're not credible. We think you shook him. And they went with the whole shaken baby syndrome, okay? Doctors testified at the trial. This is hard stuff to talk about, guys, especially the ones who, you're unforgiving and whatever, and you're just not open-minded. You don't want to hear. You've made it in your mind already what the fuck it is, okay? And that's unfortunate. This was in 2001. He did not pass away. The doctors, thank God, the doctors were able to stop the bleeding. He went to Sunny Hill for children, and they brought him back from paralysis, so he was able to walk again and function proper. And I can only be thankful that the doctors, it could have been a lot worse, and it could have been a lot worse for the family, for me, for everything, for the community. I never considered how it affects the community. So I got to learn about all that, when I went away, how it's like a whole community that's affected. And those things never happened again since that, And I made a decision, stay off the drugs, man. Stay off the drugs. And I didn't touch drugs for fucking 20 years. Over 20 years. Just like a more recent, what I'm dealing with now, man, it's hard to stay awake. And so I relied on the drugs to keep me awake. You see a guy with the camera there pointing at me. No, I'm not doing any of that shit again. So what is the difference between what? Because I don't do that, and I haven't done it. I have 2 children since that situation. I just started smoking the drugs in the last couple years. It started off very slow, where I wouldn't touch it for months, and then I'd hit it again. But more recently, it was like nightly. I would do it at night, and then it picked up from there. I smoke it in the morning when I wake up, and then I don't touch it all day, and I smoke it again at night. So it's like a couple times a day. But it's not like a crazy amount, where I'm losing my mind, and I'm usually doing it alone. I'm not around people. I'm not responsible for people. Yeah, I smoke it online sometimes, if I come on, not on camera, but I want to stop. I want to stop. I don't like it, to be honest.
Yeah, he gave the by the.
3, 2, 6, 2.
Anyways, I want to stop it.
Dialing.
I need it. Sadly, I need it. But to be honest, more recent. It's not even.
Please enter. The door is unlocked.
It's not even what I'm intending to go and buy. I'm going to get side, and it's. I'm going to get side, and it's down. I'm going to buy side, and it's down, and and I'm, instead of wanting to be awake and alert, I'm falling asleep an hour later. Yeah, no, it is real. It is real, and I don't want to be smoking, man. I just kind of want to get my life back, man. I just want to get my fucking life back. False information is being put out there. They're saying that he died, and he didn't die. To be honest, at first I went to the remand center. I was at the remand center for a year for that, like one full calendar year, and I did, man. Obviously, I went to PC. Yeah, I did. It made the newspaper, and I went to PC, but when I got sentenced to the additional years, there's no PC in the penitentiary. You just go to population. And so I went straight into population. And when I went to do my program, I went to the program facility, and I mixed. There was guys from the general population, like from Kent. There was people from Kent at the program who had, some type of family violence, extreme family violence, that they needed the high intensity program, and you just all mix together. And so it was quite scary. I was a young kid, and I was around some serious fucking dudes, and they didn't make life easy. Sorry if I'm missing your comments, guys. My kid went to foster care because, look, man, I was often in jail, and I have this situation with the child, right? And but anyways, I was often in jail, and she would use drugs. And her neighbors or somebody would fucking report her for using drugs with the child. And, they took him several times out of the home. They would catch her several times using drugs. And they would give her a plan. They would give her a plan on what she would need to do, the things she was required to do. That's her. It's part of my fault for not staying in the community. But come on, man, it's her fault for using the drugs. They gave her so many opportunities to stop using drugs and choose her child first, put her child before everything. And she didn't do that. She didn't do that, man. She chose drugs every time. She'd do what was required to get him back. And then once she got him back, she fell back into her old habits. And she would use drugs again, and she would get caught again, and they would take, my son again. And she again would do what was required to get him home. He'd come home and then back into the old habits again. It was a bad cycle. And that went on like 4 times they took him. They did that 4 times. And then finally they say, you know what, we're not going to return him home. And I was in jail, when they did that. I was actually in jail for the Corey situation in Edmonton, in Kelowna, actually. She's from Edmonton. Yeah, I was in jail. I was in jail for that, and then my kid's mom, she wouldn't let my son go to my side of the family. She was totally against it. And she didn't have to let him go there. Because actually she didn't have me registered as the legal dad to my son. She didn't put, my son's got her last name. This is the way she operates, She's very controlling. She's very controlling, and she wouldn't put my son or me on the birth certificate so that my son would get my last name. Yeah. Yeah, I know I share some responsibility for that situation, going to jail and just not being present. I tried to be in his life as much as I possibly could, for the first, 4 or 5. I was around quite a bit for the first 4 or 5 years. And then, then there was like separation. She would start dating other guys and kind of avoiding me more. She'd let me come around when it was convenient, really. And then when she wanted me gone, she'd call the police. She'd invite me from British Columbia. Tell me, actually fucking demand, you better be here fucking, or you're not going to see your son again. And I would travel 3 days, 4 days on a fucking bus, a Greyhound. And I would come to the house and I would spend time with my kid. She used drugs the whole time. And then when I tried to stop her from using drugs, tell her, enough is enough. You have to be mom. She'd call the cops. She'd call the cops and fucking get me fucking removed. And finally, I had enough, man. They would put conditions on me to stay away from her and my kid, and so then when she tell me to come back the next time, I've got conditions and I'm scared, and I said, I'm not living like this no more. I'm not living like this no more. I'm leaving. Actually, it's just it's easier and it's actually healthier for my kid if I just walk away, and so I walked away from the whole situation. And I left for good for 7 years. And just a couple years ago now, 2 years ago, I went back to Ontario and I showed up at her house. And it was actually worse, man. It was actually worse. She's on the side, and Her fucking house looked like an episode of Hoarders. And she was like, "Oh my God, is that actually you, Shaun?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I saw the house, the condition of the house, and her, and I was like, "Look at you, man. You're looking sick. You look like you're on your deathbed, and your house is atrocious. Let's get you back together here." Now I was helping her clean. And all that stuff, and she was just abusing me the whole time. And I said, like, we're not going to go down an old path. It's where she provoked me, and and then she would like even assault me and get a reaction out of me. Usually I would respond to the violence. I've never once just gotten mad and hit her. It's always responding to being assaulted. I said, I'm not doing that no more. I'm not doing that. I'm actually just going to leave again. And at this point, I had actually gone to the police on her. I charged her with domestic assault. She had 4 charges for domestic assault. And she was angry. She was so fucking angry. "I can't believe you charged me." And I was like, "What do you mean you can't like..." So she's like, "I can't believe you charged me." And I was like, "Look, I just want to see you get some help, Abdullah, I'll put you up when I'm done my speech here." But anyways, that's what it was. And then right after that, right after she got these charges, then it just got fucking weird. Like, she went to jail. They put her at the Vanier Institution for Women, and the cops. I went to her house. I wanted to attend her bail hearing, get her out on bail. I went to her house to do the bail through a Zoom. I was in her driveway doing the Zoom to try and get her out. The bail hearing ended. I got out of my car. And I was looking for her cat. I was looking for her cat. I was going to feed her cat, and then I was going to take off. But the cops called. Well, they said they were cops, anyways. They called and they're like, "Yeah, Shaun, we see your car is parked in Danielle's driveway. You want to come and move it, because look, she's going to be getting out of the Vanier jail here, and we don't want her getting any warrants." And I was like, "What? You come to make sure that she doesn't get warrants? That was nice of you." And but I wouldn't go back and move my car. I said, no, go away. Like, I'll fucking get it when I get it, And I was at her friend's house. And I seen them piling around like in undercovers, around the home. And when I tried to leave, they tried to come after me, and I fucking ran away. I went into a forest. They wouldn't come in the forest. So then I'm like, well, police would have come into the forest if they wanted me,
Please enter. The door is
And yeah, they would just hang out outside the forest. So I was like, is this even the police? Is this even the police that want me? It seems like something different, And so I didn't know what it was, and I got out of there, and I fucking came back to BC here, and they followed me, and it's just been back and forth. I went back and forth a few times to Ontario, and it's just progressively gotten worse, It's progressively gotten worse. I went finally and I tried to download the fucking WhatsApp, and everything was there. WhatsApp business. This guy had my fucking photos, over 300 of my photos, and my identification. He had fucking everything about me, man. It was all stored in my phone. There's a notification that would go around it, like a geofencing style thing, where like through the WhatsApp business account, okay, they would fucking, when I would come in a fucking area, it would actually ping everybody and like a fucking advertisement for a business, it would ping everybody and tell everybody that I'm this fucking person who did, XYZ, and that they were going to murder me. I was carrying it around in my phone, pinging it off to everyone. And when I tried to secure all that fucking information, they made the fucking phone disabled. Stole my Apple ID, stole my fucking Gmail. And they made that fucking disappear, they made that evidence disappear for me. I couldn't afford to get another iPhone, so I started buying Samsung phones. In 2 seconds, the guy's in my fucking Samsung. Okay, he's contacting the fucking business. He's watching me. And he's contacting the businesses and getting the businesses to fucking give over the phone information even before I buy it. Like the businesses are actually like pushing phones in my direction. Like, here, you want to try this one? Because they've already given the information about the phone. And so no matter what phone I fucking bought, this guy was still attached to it. Even the phone I'm using now, this is how we're in such a crazy situation that we're in now. I finally did get another iPhone. And the guy's in my fucking iPhone, And he's trying to change shit and he screen records and all kinds of shit. I can't use the screen record app because it says I can't screen record while I'm doing screen mirroring, and I'm not doing screen mirroring, but he's in my phone doing screen mirroring. And so anyways, I'm trying to change things back, and I contact the Apple support and stuff like that, and I'm trying to file shit because he's creating these files, through, they're not even real apps. He's making apps. He's creating his own apps and copywriting fucking legitimate companies like Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and he's up in the the Snapchat, and he's got his own Apple app and all kinds of stuff, man. All kinds of stuff. And then has me isolated in this small little bubble of his, okay? He's gone as far as contacting the phone company and taking my phone number and then replacing my SIM with his own SIM number, okay, with my phone number on it, and giving me like a Wi-Fi that I work off of. It's okay. You can say that. You're expected to say that because, well, you could very well be him. So, you're not credible, right? Unless you come forward, you'd have to really prove it that I'm skits, okay? I can prove all kinds of shit. His name is Mikey. He goes under the account Not the One. No, my doctor has never once said that I'm schizo. No, not once. Well, if you would be kind enough, Wild Angel, to snap a photo of him and send it to me. I know what he looks like already. We had some words, he already threatened me. Anyways, it's not the one, and the E on the is a 3, and then the number 1, like 31. Thanks, Tony. Have a good day, brother. So what I'm doing now, for if you're just tuning in, there was a black pickup truck here, and that's what we're going to focus on. Never mind these other guys who are trying to distract from what's happening here. Black pickup truck, Chevy, Z71, male driver, pulled up, was talking to the female. There's a female accomplice to Mikey. She's got a child. She's trying to stay anonymous. Some of you guys will know who she is, though. If you're so inclined to want to assist in their illegal operations, fine. If you want to go against it and seek some real true justice here, that would be great. But anyways, there's a female, and she's trying to remain anonymous. The man pulled up in his Chevy Z71, license plate, British Columbia, S like Sam, D like dog, 7933, and put her up on the speakerphone, which has been her MO. They won't contact me directly. They contact people that are around me, and they come on that person's speakerphone, and then they'll chant their bullshit at me, tell me I'm dead, and all kinds of sorts of stuff. The main being, you're dead. You're a dead man. And so that's what happened there. He pulled up and he put her on the speaker, and they were discussing that I'm going to get kidnapped and murdered today. So we just want to focus on that. Don't let these other people distract you. They're part of it also. The whole community is involved at this point, okay? And yeah, Anthony, this is what's been going on. Anyways, he had her on the phone and they were discussing it, and he was telling her that he's just basically waiting for this other guy to come and help him. And I was recording, and so he pulled away. He actually just pulled away. He pulled up and parked there and had a smoke and whatever, and then he pulled away. So, just like if anything happens to me in the future, it's the black Chevy Z71 license plate, SD 7933 BC license plate. That guy is directly associated to the situation, part of the whole conspiracy to murder me. And that's what it's been. It's a conspiracy to murder me until it's actually carried out, and then it's a murder, and then there are accomplices in a murder case. Okay. I don't really care about what else is going on. It's happening, and you can't run away from these people. Okay. They've installed these cameras on me that see everything. Lots of you guys who are, associated to Mikey and are trying to remain anonymous or just silent. You already know you're watching the cameras. You're seeing them in action. Guys, you can go on my page here, my personal page here. He's on my TikTok even. He runs lives off my TikToks, and he charges a subscription. And basically it says, come join the community and check out, this here latest technology. And that's what it is. It's kind of like the latest technology where you can attach cameras to a human body. And you can record 24/7. And they're quite good cameras, I personally haven't looked through the cameras. The cameras are me. But I'm pretty sure that you can actually zoom in I know that he uses some apps in my phone to operate these devices, and locks certain apps and stuff in my phone. Certain settings in my phone are locked and can't be changed. They're locked and set to the IT on the account, which is not me. I'm not the IT on the account. There's passwords for it, and they can't be changed unless you factory reset the phone. And when you factory reset the phone, he's got things disabled and locked, so that when you factory reset it, you can't actually do a full factory reset. When it starts back up, it forces you to basically put these files back onto the phone. And so I'm not able to get them out of my phone that way. I would have to have the Google Chrome that it was set up under, and unlock and enable certain things, and then get that USB out of there. He's got a USB with all the files on it that he can just instantly throw back on. Exclusive look at technology of the future. Yeah, that's his little sentence there. I didn't write that. That's his sentence. So he's inviting people to come check out this technology. He's running it off of my TikTok though. He charges subscription off my TikTok, and he takes the money for it. And I tried to get him off, and I fucking couldn't. Mikey, restreaming you on Facebook, 8,000 viewers. Well, not just Facebook, through Instagram, through his gaming app, Discord, and Linux or whatever it's called. There's a bunch of different places he's streaming from. And he's getting quite wealthy, guys. You guys are making him quite wealthy, and I want you guys to know that he's lying to you. Okay, he's telling you that I'm a sex offender, which I'm not. I can provide a legitimate, factual criminal record from CPIC. Okay, if you're American and you don't know what CPIC is, it's your criminal record through the. It's all done through CPIC. I can provide an official CPIC police report with all my charges on it. I'm not a sex offender, never have been charged with one, and I'm certainly not doing those types of behaviors. Okay, you can see how they're trying to fashion something so that I do have something. Yeah, no, it's not even just him, right? It's not even. He's like impersonating police, which is one of the crimes. You can't impersonate the police. He's impersonating a bunch of different companies. He's impersonating when I make phone calls, my phone number. It's routed to a line where people are actually hired to take my phone call and imitate the business that I'm intending to call. If I try to call Freedom Mobile, he's got all my fucking details for to get on my Freedom account, right? So when I call, well then they've got the computer in front of them, and they got all my information. They know all my security questions, the answers to them, everything. And
3, 2, 0.
you can't move, man. You can't move. They follow you. Okay, they just take it to the next place. Okay, you can't run away from them. You can't get away from them. They're actively attacking the community and telling the community this is what it is, and and gaining the community's assistance in following me around, sending the community out to commit a crime. This is what they're doing.
You have reached the voicemail box of...
Call canceled. 320.
They're telling the community that it's for a good cause. They're telling the community it's for a good cause, and
Sorry for our brand.
Yeah, come on in.
Thank you.
You can just leave my package in the mail room. It's on the, you're just when you come inside.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
One second, guys. Anyways, they're attacking the community, telling the community this story, and that it's for a good cause, and the community members they're stopping what they're doing. Fuck, man, they might be at work. They stop what they do, and they start following me, and you can't go anywhere. I go to take a bus, and fucking 10 of them get on the bus and start fucking communicating with this fucking retard. And you can't convince them of anything. You try to tell them, look, this guy's making you commit a crime that you don't even know you're committing a crime. Stalking is a crime. You can't follow me around like that. But they're making them commit crimes, and the community's just not listening. When I say you're actually stalking me and it's criminal, they're not listening to me, and they continue to do it. They think that they've got some kind of fucking exemption of the law, and they partially do. The police have now been involved, and kind of assist them with some of these things. Which is a shame, man, because there's like real fucking crimes being committed, and they've gotten quite offensive, guys. You guys talk about the kids, and this is what this is about. You care about the kids? Care about the kids, man. Because I care about the kids. And I think it's very fucking offensive what they're doing, okay? They've got these devices in my fucking body, and they're broadcasting live for all of these fucking thousands of viewers my genitals. And you motherfuckers, you fucking laugh about it. You think it's a fucking joke. You think it's funny. And when you see me in discomfort, you think it's funny. And you're not taking into consideration, man, there's fucking kids, young kids with cell phones who are getting these fucking devices, okay? And getting these images on their fucking devices, okay? He's making sexual images available to children. No, I didn't post it myself, okay? I didn't post this myself. I told you, my whole social media, my whole phone, everything that I do is fucking controlled by him. Everything I do is controlled by him. That's why he's scared, because he's actually committing these crimes. And he's going to get caught for it, okay? I told him, knock it off, man. Knock it off. Your day will come. Knock it off. And then you guys go and commit worse crimes to try and save his fucking sorry ass. Stop it, man. Stop it. He's a criminal and he needs to be brought to justice, okay? What he's doing is fucking highly offensive. He's a sex predator now. He's making pornographic images available to children. Take that in, you know what I mean? Just let that set in. He's trying to make children victims. Love away if you're scared. I don't know what you're saying. He thinks. No, I absolutely can prove it's been hacked. I can actually 100% with ease. With ease, I can prove that my device has been compromised. And you can't uncompromise it. It's literally impossible to uncompromise the device. If you start to, then there's like a large presence of people, you know, and they try to use these scare tactics to divert my attention. You know, now I'm focused on being scared and not changing app settings, and you can't actually get away. You can't actually get away. So I tried for a little while with the cameras and shit right in my body now. Like it's actually essentially it's impossible. And what's more sad about it is, you know, the police know that he's doing this. The police actually know that he's doing this, and they basically they help him. They know he's doing it, and they don't stop him.
Enter. The door is unlocked.
Go do what? What am I supposed to be going to do? I think hi. I bought a different device. I bought an iPhone, and he's in the iPhone. If you weren't listening, okay? I go to these places to buy phones and stuff, and he communicates with the fucking people that I go to buy the phones off of. And they give him all the phone information so that he can get into the phone. And he's able to hack into the phone in fucking 2 seconds from a remote location. He's not even Canadian. He's not even Canadian, this Mikey guy. Yeah, not the one. Top dollar for what? Yeah, because you know, like to be honest, I'm in Langley. I'm in Langley, BC, on 200 streets. Okay, between 84 and 86. The Tim Hortons, the Wendy's, the McDonald's, the Starbucks, the Shell gas station, they all communicate and have knowledge of the conspiracy and assist every one of the employers, assist this man in his criminal offending. Each and every one of those fucking businesses have banned me from their business, okay? They would start off taking and giving him information. They would watch over me, okay? And they would give him back information, okay? And I would start saying stuff to them, and so they would kick me out of their restaurants, okay? They would ban me from their restaurant. And I would have to go to the next restaurant, and then the next restaurant, and like that one whole area, 84 to 86, okay? I'm basically banned from all the restaurants that I can go. And that's because they don't want me charging my phone. They want my phone to be dead. They're trying to inconvenience me with the phone. Same as right now, this is what the craziness is about today. They don't want me to have charge of my phone, and they don't want me bringing awareness to the situation. I do believe he's American. You know, this guy, he said he's doxing me, and he said you don't think I can get to you from the States? I know people up in Canada. And so there's these two guys here in Canada that operate for him that I know of. A guy named Singh and another guy, Sidhu. And if I'm correct, one of them is from Surrey, BC, and the other one's from Edmonton, Alberta. If you've ever come on my page and you've attended the live, look, man, you're here now. You didn't have to pay a subscription fee to come on to talk to me today. There's no subscription, okay? That's not the live that's being run, okay? Off of my account, he's running a subscription, okay? It's a subscription only live, and you have to subscribe to the subscription in order to catch the live. And some people pay a couple bucks a day. Some people have a monthly subscription, I guess. But anyways, none of those subscription fees go to me. I tried to set up subscriptions so that I could run my own subscription lives, and I can't, and I can't change it. I tried to change it, and I tried to change the price of the live, and his abilities from where he is. He just ends up knocking my information out. My information can't make it through. You said where you are, where you've been. What do you mean? I don't know what you're saying there. Well, it's because I've got this new device where I'm able to get onto the app. Like it's not the actual TikTok app, I'm registered on his version of the TikTok app, and it's got bugs in it. Basically, his app's got bugs in it, and so one of the defects is when I open up the app, I can hit the back button repeatedly, and it'll back me back into the system. It'll back me back into the program. And so I'm able to stay connected that way. And that's really frustrating him a lot. He's taken all my other accounts. I've got other TikToks. You see them all over TikTok. I can't get in those. And he's changed the passwords on them. I know, hi, because you feel like it's justified. Okay? You feel like it's justified. You've been lied to. You've been brainwashed. And you're frustrated. You're frustrated by the situation. And you don't want to see your buddy Mikey or anybody. You don't want to see anybody. But me suffer. And that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate because although I've got my situations in the past, I've learned from them and moving on, and I'm out of jail. I haven't committed a crime in 6 years. And it's just unfortunate, man. No, I have. Okay. So I don't know what to tell you, Ben. some people are just, some people are unforgiving, and that's fine. You don't have to throw shade or any of those things. We don't even know each other, and we'll probably never meet each other. And we could just live. It's not affecting you. It's not affecting you, and I'm not having an effect on the community. It's in my system here. It's all over. It's in my eyes. It's in my hands, my arms, my upper torso.
I'm afraid I can't get the phone right now. That doesn't mean I'm out of line.
Call cancel. 2, 0. Call cancel. 3232. Wrong number. Please try again. 304. System dialing.
Anyways, yeah, it's all over the place. Here's one in my hand.
Amazon?
Please enter. The door is unlocked.
Okay, I'm gonna have to let you go now, okay?
Yeah, no worries.
I gave you an hour, so I'm gonna.
Yeah, no worries.
People are bugging me now, so.
Yeah, it's okay. I figured, this is what they do. They don't want me charging, but I got another place I can go anyways.
Okay,
Real
thank
close.
you.
I appreciate you, man.
No worries.
Anyways, that's one in my hand. Just gonna kind of keep the camera turning in case anybody tries to get close. Just remember, the truck is the important thing that we saw this morning. If something happens, that's the man responsible. Or he has connections. He's to be questioned. He was witnessed speaking to the female accomplice on the situation here. Sorry, I don't have sunglasses, so I can't see the comments right now. I'll try to look at the comments right now. In the shade here. At high, you could be responsible or whatever. You're definitely a supporter of this guy, and it's unfortunate, He's given you misleading information. And the fact that you would form emotions or feelings based on false information and not want to get the truth or hear from the other side, anything, that's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate, man. That's really unfortunate. be honest. Just gonna want to get this on there. These people all come and they walk. You know, you know who the people are because they hold their phone in like a clutch style to scan in. There, another one over here. The worker. They hold their phone in like a clutch style and they scan in, and some of them take pictures and whatever.